Not gonna lie.
Okay, so the thing is for me, I'm 21, but like I said, I have the mentality of a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
So for me, like I'm much more mentally and emotionally mature than a lot of people my age. I'm not physically attracted to older guys, which sucks. Like I would date like the absolute youngest.
What's up, everybody? The current climate of the internet feels like a psychological experiment designed to see exactly how much sludge the human collective can swallow before it finally starts to retch. We've reached a point in the timeline where the concept of consequences has been thoroughly euthanized. And nowhere is this more glaringly offensively obvious than in the recent decision by the MrBeast production machine to resuscitate the career of a man who should have been relegated to the landfill of internet history years ago, James Charles. Let's be incredibly clear about what we're witnessing. This isn't just a collaboration. This is a deliberate, calculated attempt to rewrite history. It's a strategic move to take a person whose reputation is radioactive and scrub him clean in the high-pressure wash of the world's most successful creator. MrBeast isn't just making content. He is performing an exorcism on a mountain of evidence that points to one undeniable truth. James Charles is a serial predator.
In case anybody isn't aware of what's going on, within the past couple of weeks, 2 different people, both under the age of 18, have recently come forward saying that they had inappropriate messages with me on social media. One of them being from last year and one of them being from more recent. In both of these cases, I added these people on Snapchat, asked how old they were right away, was told that they were 18, believed them, engaged in a flirty conversation, and then later on found out that they were actually 16.
Whenever the topic of James Charles and his extracurricular activities with minors comes up, his defenders and James himself love to hide behind the word reckless.
I was being reckless, and after looking back and finally realizing that this was my own fault, I started doing a lot of thinking and reflecting to really try and figure out why I was actually allowing myself to be so reckless in the first place. In all other areas of my life, my friends, my business, I like to think of myself as pretty put together and on top of things, and I couldn't understand why relationships were the one outlier. Why were they not working? Why was this area of me so different? And I finally came to a conclusion. It sucks, and it is ridiculously embarrassing to admit this, but I think I have to, and that is that I'm desperate.
They treat his history like a series of oopsies. Oh, he just didn't check the ID. He was too trusting. He's just a young guy in a big world. Let's strip away that linguistic camouflage. When a man in his 20s with a net worth that could buy a small island and a legal team larger than some local governments repeatedly finds himself accidentally sending sexually explicit messages to minors, that isn't recklessness. It's a lifestyle. In 2021, the world watched as James Charles uploaded a video that was supposed to be his final reckoning. In the video, he admitted to interacting with minors. He didn't do this out of the goodness of his heart. He did it because the receipts were already circulating on TikTok and Twitter. The evidence was so overwhelming that the only move left on the chessboard was a vulnerable confession. But even in that confession, he played the victim of misinformation.
As you guys know, I posted my Holding Myself Accountable video, and in that video talked about how basically 2 guys had come forward with stories on social media about how I had inappropriate contact with them when they were under the age of 18. Now, when this was all going on, my first reaction was to be super upset because I did mention in that video that they had lied to me about their age and that I absolutely did not groom them. And my first reaction was to post a no more lies style of video debunking everything and fighting back and everything.
The reality is that James Charles has a pattern that stretches back for years. Now let's pivot to the man behind the curtain, Jimmy Donaldson, aka MrBeast. Jimmy has built an empire on the foundation of being the good guy. He builds houses, he feeds the hungry, he plants trees. He's the personification of the ultimate creator. But with great power comes the responsibility to not invite a documented groomer into your house.
James! Hi! Hi, nice to meet you!
How are you?
I'm great, how are you? Oh my god, I didn't expect to see you here!
Hi, nice to
I love your car review.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
What car did you end up with?
Maybach.
Oh,
A nice Maybach.
I got a Maybach.
you got a
too.
Maybach.
Did you? Which one?
You got the SUV, right?
I did get the SUV.
I got a sedan.
Okay, do you like it so far?
I actually love it.
I'm not sure if I'm really sold on mine, I gotta be real. Have a great night, you both look great.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you. Okay. That's crazy.
By placing James Charles in that video, MrBeast provided him with something more valuable than money. He gave him legitimacy. He told his audience, which is predominantly made up of children and young teenagers, that James Charles is back in the club. This is the influencer industrial complex in its purest form. It's a machine that prioritizes the spectacle of having 50 famous people in a room over the safety and ethics of the platform. It's a cynical calculation that assumes the audience is too stupid or too distracted to remember the victims. And we need to talk about the victims.
Hey guys, my name is Ethan Rhett, and if you don't know me, maybe this will help you out once again. Anyways, months ago, I tried to talk about the situation once again, but it all came crashing down. I was getting threats, not just towards me, but to my family as well. People were messaging my family, people were calling me closeted, people were just doing some pretty mean things. And on top of that, my videos got taken down once again. So I said, you know what, I'm done and I'm over it. No one believed me and everyone thought I was just making something up, which is my fault because I never showed as much proof as I do have, and that's what I'm going to do now.
So James started getting extremely comfortable with me, and I just, I was so excited. I didn't really realize it at the time. We were FaceTiming, which I will pull it up right here in this clip, this next clip.
I don't think so. At least.
Anyway, so that part was me on the phone with James that a friend of mine recorded just because he thought it was pretty cool as well. And I thought it was something cool to have. And I didn't think about it as any way to hurt him. And it stresses me out that my life was ruined because everyone thought that. Here is me at 14 years old. Here's me also on famous birthdays. And I've been on famous birthdays prior to him even reaching out. So at that time, yes, it did say I was 14 years old. I'm about to show you next is a video of me opening his snap on Snapchat of him saying 4 years. And what he's implying on that 4 years is 4 more years until I'm 18 years old. My brother wanted to record it because he thought it was super weird of him to say. The last video I'm going to show you is a video of him telling me he doesn't like putting makeup on hot guys. And the reason why he told me that was because I saw he was doing his makeup and I said, hey, maybe you can put makeup on me for a YouTube video. It would be a cool collab, and I'm trying to grow my page because he made it seem like he was my friend and he wanted to help me and kind of give me tips and tricks.
I hate putting really hot guys into makeup.
Every time James Charles is allowed to return to the spotlight, every time he's given a seat at the table with the likes of MrBeast, it sends a devastating message to the people who came forward. Imagine being one of the young men who had their boundaries crossed by James Charles. Imagine the courage it took to post those screenshots, knowing that an army of sisters would descend upon you. You did the right thing. You spoke your truth. You thought that by exposing the behavior, you were protecting others. And then a few years later, you see him laughing, competing, and being treated like royalty. It's a slap in the face. It tells the victims that their pain is a secondary concern to the content. It reinforces the idea that if you are famous enough, your sins are merely a content hurdle. The platform is a privilege, not a right. No one is entitled to an audience of millions. When you use that audience to facilitate predatory predatory behavior, you should lose the right to that audience forever. We don't give second chances to teachers who groom students. Why do we give them to YouTubers? We have to remind the world that behind the polished makeup and the high-pitched hi sisters, there is a man who admitted to behavior that should have ended his career permanently. He belongs in the shadows, away from the cameras, and far away from any impressionable audience. Appreciate you guys for watching. Later.